Hello, everybody. Today, we are going to talk about UFOs and aliens and shit.
Fucking hyped! Oh, man, I'm so pumped. I love talking about aliens.
We were supposed to talk about this last session, and then I got into a bunch of shit, and we didn't even end up talking about aliens at all.
What did that end up turning into?
No clue.
I can't remember either.
Yet,
we'll see.
But, yeah.
So, there's been... Dude, 2020, man. Okay, like... We've had a lot of crazy shit happen, you know, and I think it was 2019 when the UFO shit first started happening, right? Like they came out with all those videos that we were just talking about, the Tic Tak, the whatever the fuck, the three main ones, you know. And so, okay, let me know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Pentagon released, or no, those videos came out.
Pentagon released those videos.
Okay, so the Pentagon released the videos
after they were leaked or something.
I can't remember. Gotcha. And it was up for crazy debate because it was the first time that our government had actually acknowledged that there is shit flying around and they have no idea what it is. And then after the videos came out, came interviews with the pilots that are in those videos saying, no, this thing defied physics. Like the way it was flying, there's no way somebody could survive with the G-force and like how it was maneuvering and all that stuff.
Have you seen the Joe Rogan podcast with Commander Fravor on it?
I don't think so.
He's one of the guys.
Oh, really?
Like that experienced like a UFO basically encounter and chased one.
Oh shit.
And when you listen to him talk, he's completely like a normal fucking military guy. Like he's very chill, he's not crazy sounding, he's not like super adamant like, no man, I saw this shit. He's just like, yeah, no, it's like, and he shows they pull up the videos and he's like, yeah, that means this and this and this. And he's like, and you can see it rotating and shit.
Yeah.
Like so I don't think they have his on camera, but he's somebody who can speak to because he's had. I don't remember which one he's involved with.
And that's super interesting to me because I know that all the like Reddit detectives, the commenters, the people like on the internet and all that stuff, when these videos first came out, I was seeing a lot of discouraging comments saying, like, you guys, these are just normal people like us that are behind the like steering wheel of the plane. You know what I mean? And it's probably just a bird. Like, I think it's just a bird or like a reflection or something like that. Like, and a lot of people were getting on that train of it's not an alien, you guys. I'm sorry, but these people just freaked out. But you bring up the guy talking on the podcast, like
I remember now. He was actually the guy with the Tic Tak video.
Oh, really? And like these military people, like they know the planes. They know what they're flying. They've seen all sorts of stuff probably through those cameras and through the windshield of it. And like you think they really would mistake something like a bird?
Yeah, dude.
For a UFO?
The weirdest thing that this guy talked about. And for anybody watching, like, feel free to go watch this. It's a super interesting podcast. It's probably almost 3 hours long, like most of Joe Rogan's or whatever. And it's just within the last couple weeks to a few weeks that it came out. Because it's new. Anyway, this guy talks about how they were actually doing a training drill where they like basically like fake dogfight but with no ammunition or whatever or something like that. And like they were up in the air about to do some shit, and they, from what I remember, sorry if it's wrong, from what I remember, they basically got a call saying like, yo, we actually need you guys to go over to this spot. We spotted, something on our radars. We spotted something weird. And he mentioned that when they go to places like that, he's heard, when he got to this certain area where he's been working or whatever, they're like, yeah, if you go out there, you might end up seeing the shit we've been seeing. We don't really know what it is, but we've been seeing stuff out there. And he said it looked like he says you can fly out there, and apparently there's like these giant beach balls with a cube in it that just float in the air.
What the fuck?
And he said they're weird, and he said like they basically are just told that like they're out there. It's completely like you just just know that they're out there. We don't really know what they are yet.
That is insane.
Right. He just says it looks like a clear beach ball with a cube in it or something, or something in it. And he said they float around and shit.
Dude.
And and he's just like, we don't quite know what they are, but just don't be like worried if you see them out there, because we keep seeing them and we haven't figured it out yet.
That's nuts,
right?
Dude.
Yeah. So he also said that they were told to go and just check out because they had something on the radar or whatever. And he said as he was approaching it, he said it was a super still water beneath him because he was above some water. I can't remember if he was like in the ocean or in the Gulf or wherever this was. I think it was off the West Coast. I can't remember. Anyway, still water. He said You know how when waves have like white peaks, like because the water gets ruffled? He said basically in the middle of the still water there was a white basically disturbance in the water.
Yeah,
I remember it looked like there was a big rock or something.
I remember he said like the water almost looked like it was bubbling and stuff.
Yeah,
like I think he said that on an interview before.
So he said, you know, we just, you know, at first you're just like, oh, there must be a rock in the water right there, and the waves are going over it or whatever, and then basically it lifts up.
Could you imagine seeing that?
Yeah,
like ascending from the water.
Yeah, and he talks about it so calm. Like he talks about it, and he said it's Tic Tak because it looks like it's in the shape of a Tic Tak. It's just, it's in like looks like a fucking submarine. He said
that's always like just a like a mindset that's always scared me is people thinking that something is like normal because they see it so often, but to us that aren't behind the scenes, like it's just so mind blowing that could even be possible.
Yeah, but
they're seeing it that frequently that it's normal to them. That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And he said at the end of the Tic Tak video, like at the Tic Tak video, and who knows, I might edit it in unless we end up seeing it on here and we can talk to it or whatever. But at the end of the Tic Tak video, it's basically this targeting system is locked on in infrared.
Yeah.
So you can see it from the background. And it's just kind of like a shape. It's really small. You can almost not even tell what the hell's going on. But it's locked onto it. And he's saying, like, you know, at the end, it basically zooms off screen to the left, which means it moved fast enough to, like, disengage the lock mechanism that, like, the computer targets it. So it's just really weird that he's just like, and he goes, you have to be going fast for that to happen. Are you recording?
Oh, no, not yet. Yeah, that's something that's always blown my mind too, is how they say the physics of it. Like, literally don't make any sense.
And he's talking about like how it says IR for infrared up on the top and all that shit. He's explaining what these numbers are and what's important and what's not important.
Yeah.
But he's basically saying, like, he said that thing's already moving fast, and the computer just, you know, and they're just switching in between different types of infrared. Like that one shows black and the other one shows white compared to the background.
Okay, well that's good. Just information to have as we watch it.
But
like,
yeah, it's
interesting.
It's this is the Tic Tak one.
I don't know. I just typed it in. Maybe this is all of them.
I think this is the Gimbal one. I don't know. Oh, this is all of them. I think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. This one looks. That one looks more right to me. The one he was talking about, because I know it like readjusts itself, and somewhere towards the end, it just like shoots off to the left.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And basically, he said that like he goes, I mean, we don't got that. like like it's just. But I guess also he was really casually talking because he was like, you know, when this was all done, I had to go back and like the people always joke like, hey, did you see a UFO out there? See how it just does that? Yeah. Like it basically like. It was like when we have our stabilizer, and how when we move our stabilizer, it's got a certain threshold where it will move with us. But if we just jerk our whole body, it'll shut down.
Yes,
kind of what happened with that. Like it basically like it escaped the lock, like the computer's ability to trace it. Basically,
I see.
Which means so fast.
God, that's crazy.
Now it doesn't look very fast on there, but that's what happened.
See, I haven't heard that little information, and like those little details make it so much more believable that it's an authentic type thing. And
I guess he goes back and they're like, hey, did you see a UFO out there, or whatever? And I guess he said like, yeah, I was chasing a UFO out there, and they were like, oh shit, like giving him shit for like weeks. And I guess for like the next couple of days, like they have like these movies that play on the ship and everything, because I think he was on a carrier. And
giving him shit because they knew he was going to see something like that, or because they weren't believing him?
Just because like it's military shit, and they're just like, fucking UFO, bro, fucking you saw UFOs out there, you fuck, shit like that, I guess. So I think it's like half not believing, but half of like fucking like because he's just probably been adamant that like I'm not ever gonna see UFO shit, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And but I guess like from then on, like all the music that was played through the thing and all the movies that were played were all like fucking UFO and alien movies, and giving him shit.
That's funny.
And then like I guess he said that he was before this new article came out and he was interviewed or something. He was at home and his family was always like, "You ever see anything weird out there?" All that shit. And he just says, you know, it's like, no. And then I guess he was telling them, he's like, "Hey, so I just gotta let you guys know, tomorrow there's gonna be an article that comes out, and I'm in it."
Damn.
And they're like, "What?" They're like, "Did you see UFO?" And he's like, "I did, yeah."
Like, oh, that's awesome.
And he says, he's like, after this happened, there weren't any guys in suits that came and visited me. He's like, nobody even contacted me about it. Like he's like, and he goes, and he's the CEO of all the people, you know, that he was with and stuff. And he's just like, you know, there was no official, nobody reached out to me. He's like ATIP, which is basically the new like UFO people. That's their government project. He's like, You know, nobody came and really talked to me afterwards or anything. It was just normal.
That kind of stuff makes me feel like, like hearing that makes me believe less in these crazy conspiracy theories that there's either going to be a false flag alien attack or that the government does know about them. And like, if you see one, you're going to get visited by some government people.
Yeah. It
sounds like, and you know, I've talked about like adults before about how like a lot of people, even if they're in a high up position, are human and like us, you know, they interpret information and like all that stuff, and some people are dumb, like some people just don't know how to handle things. It sounds like we honestly just don't know what the fuck these are.
I think it's when this guy talks, it makes you literally sound like they know that this shit's existing, but like, I mean, there's really no point because it's not like they get fucked with. Like, it sounds like it's just like not worth their time. That's how they make it sound.
It's to the point where we have bigger things to worry about within ourselves than these are things that we don't know about.
Like they just want to make sure it's not China or Russia, and if it's you know, something weird that's definitely not those guys, then we don't have time for it right now. That's what it sounds like. Crazy. You should really listen. It's fucking interesting. I
am gonna watch it.
He sounds like a completely normal guy. And that video is actually, he said that was like back in like 2004, 2006 or something.
Yeah, I heard that all those videos are older.
And he just hasn't said anything about it until like he was interviewed, and then the Pentagon released actual shit, or whoever released it, and then he's just like, okay, yeah, I'll talk about it now.
And that's what I was going to say next too, is after these videos came out, there was still a lot of speculation about, oh, they're fake, or the pilots like don't really know what they're talking about. And the Pentagon actually had to release another statement like sometime in the past few months saying these are real, authentic videos. We are the government. We're saying that these are real videos. The pilots didn't fabricate this stuff. Like, these aren't fabricated videos. They're 100% real. Yeah. Just to like confirm to people, like, no, they actually don't know what the fuck that was on camera.
Yeah. It's one more quick thing.
Yeah.
I listened to somebody else. I can't remember who it was. He's basically like it's the guy who broke the story of Bob Lazar, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people are interested now because when these came out, Bob Lazar actually posted on his Instagram. It's like his own social media account, like basically saying something, because these videos like show a lot of the things he said existed and people called him crazy for.
That's
like
nuts.
the gimbal video of the thing just like self-actuating.
Yes.
And like not, which people say is a banking plane, but like you don't think a pilot knows what a fucking plane in the sky looks like?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. But
or somebody that knows enough to analyze the video.
Yeah, like that's what he said. That's what Bob Lazar said that these craft could do, is do that shit. And it's like, now there's a thing, and he's just like, you know, still day to day, like this whole thing was them talking about Bob Lazar. Basically, it's the guy who broke it on the radio.
If you guys know who Bob Lazar is, I'd be really interested to hear your opinion on him. You think he's like trustworthy? You think he's legit, or do you think he's not?
Yeah, he's the guy who allegedly, you know, and there's a lot of proof behind it, but nobody knows for sure.
Yeah,
worked at Area 51 in S4 and has like a whole story that he really hasn't changed over the years very much. And
yeah, I know there's the whole issue of like his own college that he said he attended, coming out and saying he didn't go to school here.
They talk a bunch about that shit.
Really?
Yeah, they like because Bob Lazar's not on this one. It's just the guy who he had Bob Lazar on the radio before like everything started to get covered up, and then people started calling in like, was that guy for real? And it just like happened to cross Bob Lazar kind of. But anyway, this guy is just talking about how fucking crazy all this shit is, and how he's just a normal journalist that has now turned into basically like the UFO guy, even though he totally does other journalism. It's just he's basically turned into that guy, and how good of friends he is with Bob Lazar and stuff. And like I don't know, that's a whole other podcast talking about this shit. You guys should check him out. I'll try to figure out what his name was and post it, but they talk all about all this stuff. Like it's really interesting.
And follow that Amazon link to get yourself some good Tic Tacs too.
Yeah, so definitely.
Anyways, so what are we at time wise? So I can
right
gauge.
Now we're at 14 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I was setting up my sister's like graduation outdoor party last month, and I got in my car because I needed to go back to my house and grab some lights and then come back to my parents' house and help set it up. And as I was getting in my car, I was just kind of like scrolling through YouTube and everything, and I saw a recommendation pop up that was a CNN video that's titled "Ex-Defense Official on New Details of UFO Encounters Soon to Public." But I watched it as I was driving home, and it was one of those moments where I was all by myself. I was driving home. I was watching this, listening to it through my speaker, and I was just like, no fucking way this is happening.
Crazy.
Like, the fact that this video from CNN exists talking about this stuff, my mind was just so blown.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I'm going to play parts of it real quick. It's just the opening is nuts too.
It's probably time to stop calling people who believe in UFOs crackpots after the recent revelation that there's actually a Pentagon task force looking into them. One astrophysicist who has worked for the Pentagon's UFO program since 2007 told the New York Times that he gave a classified briefing to a Defense Department agency about retrievals from, quote, off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Are we on the brink of...
That is crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm. You know what's crazier? Is it wouldn't be crazy if we just all knew about it a long time ago.
What do you mean?
Like this wouldn't seem so crazy to us if they weren't fucking constantly telling people, nah, that shit's not real.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, it's just... And it all goes into that theory too, like they're dripping us information.
I know, yeah. I think that's interesting, and but, I do want to talk about that kind of stuff afterwards too, because I think there are some interesting theories out there. But
it is crazy to hear that come out of just a normal news report.
Yeah, saying that there is a person that worked on that task force that testified to the Pentagon or to Congress. I can't remember what, but to the government saying off-world vehicles.
Yeah.
What?
And what's crazy is a while back now that I can't remember who did it, but all these ex-defense Ministry of Defense people, like from Canada and like Europe and shit, they all had this big thing where they were like in front of some group like body or whatever. And
is that the one where the Canadian guy talked about like the tall whites and stuff?
Probably.
That one
like,
was freaking
that's
creepy.
Fucking weird to think about. The only other part that really fucks with them, like and taking them seriously, is that the British one is also on Ancient Aliens all the time.
Oh wow!
Like he's the one who they try to bring in to make credible, and he like talks a lot, but like he legit was in that position back then and talks about shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking. I remember what I was going to talk about with that other radio guy, but I'll talk about it later if we have time.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And we might have to cut some of this out. I can't remember exactly where the points are that I wanted to bring up, but let me see.
In the way in which these reports are being carried and covered, what accounts for it? What has gone on recently?
Yeah, thank you very much. You're absolutely right, and a good example of the sea change is the fact that none other than Scientific American itself has published an article saying the subject ought to be taken seriously and investigated by the scientific community. I think this change is largely primarily a result of the fact that the Defense Department and the Navy themselves have stood up and publicly acknowledged that this phenomenon is real, that this is happening, that our Navy pilots are encountering these vehicles.
Like that's also just cool. That hearing something like that come out of somebody's mouth 10 years ago. I mean, everybody would laugh. They'd be like, "There's no way our Navy, would come up and actually say that there's stuff out there that they don't know about."
It makes you wonder if they're like all this bad shit happened this year, and they're sitting there like, "Ooh, yeah, do it now. Now's the fucking time to do it." They'll forget.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, seriously,
they'll fucking forget.
Let's just knock it out. The reporter asks a really good question. I think around here. Let me see if I can get this.
A final question. Can technology alone account for what you and I are discussing? It occurs to me that by day, I make my living by speaking on Sirius XM, and my voice is bouncing across the United States on a satellite. I assume right now this conversation is doing likewise. There's a lot of stuff up in the atmosphere that didn't used to be there. Can that be an explanation, or is that too simplistic?
I do believe it's too simplistic. And the reason I say that is because in some of these cases, we have information from multiple radar systems, infrared systems, multiple naval personnel on the ground and in the air. And we're tracking these objects, performing maneuvers that clearly indicate they're under intelligent control. They're responding to our aircraft. They're out maneuvering them. And they're doing things that are far beyond any capability we possess. So that's
crazy.
That's one thing that Commander Fravor talked about when he was chasing this UFO, right?
Yeah.
He said that he couldn't keep up with it, which is crazy because he's in like one of the fastest fucking fighter jets basically ever.
Yeah.
And he also said what was weird too is that it kind of sucked because when he started chasing it, he said it would mirror what he was doing. Like if he was moving, it would basically just like mimic him.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Like,
That's nuts.
yeah, it's a fucking insane.
Stood out to me, and that is just hearing him say that the evidence, like data, all of it suggests that this stuff is under intelligent control.
Yeah.
That it's not just some weird natural phenomena or anything like that. That it's like something that knows what it's doing is operating it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking scary as
Super
shit.
scary. Yeah. And then there's that whole theory that like, you know, it is our shit
Yeah.
that's like meant to covertly look at other people's shit.
Yeah.
And they would rather a UFO story than anybody know that we have it.
Yeah, I like that theory.
Yeah.
I've heard that theory too, and which is very plausible. I feel like, but where does this guy who says off-world shit come in?
Yeah.
Is that just to kind of cover it up a little bit and like
I don't know.
help
I
push
don't
the
believe in
UFO?
it, but like I like that, you know, that theory exists.
Yeah, entertaining the theory though.
Yeah,
is what I was
it's
saying.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's just another person like, yeah, go say this shit, or it's literally like this guy's in on it, like isn't in on it, and just is legitimately like,
Yeah.
no, dude, like because they talk about too how like, you know, our whole military isn't even aware of it. It's a whole
Yeah.
separate thing that the military doesn't even know exists. So
Yeah.
to them, they're treating it as if it is something outside. Like it's like you just how much more secrecy do you want to think we got? You know?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
one thing that kind of ties into this other like the Russia thing.
Yeah.
And I'll make it short. That radio guy, I'm going to bring that up really quick.
Okay.
He said that since he's turned into this, he basically reached out to somebody who used to be in the military, like some high up military person, like one of the highest people involved with UFO shit in Russia.
Oh, okay.
And he found somebody here who could get him in contact with that guy. He went to Russia for months until a meeting was able to get scheduled and interviewed this guy or talked to him.
Uh-huh.
And basically this guy was like, yeah, I mean, we have UFO stuff here. We actually had a UFO like in our sights, and 2 people went to engage, and then those 2 pilots died because they were shot down by it. So ever since then, we were told not to. Like when we see them in the air because they exist, do not engage them.
What?
Yeah, and like they recovered the bodies and everything, and like all that shit. And they were basically from that point on. And this guy was like the guy to make that order. Like just like we were just told not to engage those people
If
anymore.
that's true,
But it's Russia, so we don't get that information.
Right.
It's their own military, because they're like their own whole one of us, but just like
Yeah.
different.
if that's true, that's insane.
Yeah, because they wanted to get it to reverse engineer it. Like they wanted to get one so they could beat us with some kind of technology and shit. Because
Yeah.
they're like, that's something we can't do. We need to know how to do that.
I want to know.
I know.
I
And he
want to
said
know
he-
if it's
he said
real.
he like smuggled some shit out that he probably would be in jail still to this day if they found out that he had.
What the fuck?
But like, it's fucking. That's why like I'll try to find both of them. The Commander Fravor guy and this guy talking. That's like the interview guy. That
Yeah.
like knew Bob Lazar. He's the one who like went and did that.
Yeah, you should definitely put those links in
Fucking
the description.
They're really interesting because I love those podcasts because it's these normal people talking for 3 hours, just talking about their interests and like little things. It's not cut very really. It's like, so they seem really like these people aren't bullshitting, and you can tell when they're kind of like putting on a show or not.
Wow.
It's crazy,
Holy shit.
right? Just it's weird. That's the world we're living in now. Yeah, we're at 23. Just so you know.
Okay. If these really are things from another planet, from another place in our fucking universe,
Yeah.
like, how did they get here? Like, is it through black hole travel? Is it through like hyperspeed type stuff?
They
like
talk about
interstellar
too,
shit.
like way back in the day, right? How they talk about like ancient shit, how like, you know, all these things were built, and then like 5,000 year gap, and then things, you know, you'll get more things that talk about like the gods coming and shit.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what I was watching, but they talk about, you know, when you achieve light speed travel because of like the gravity and everything, 5 years. If you you know do, I can't remember what the time speed, but basically it's like you can travel for this normal amount of time, like 5 years or something, to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 5,000 years when you arrive there is the distance.
Mhm.
That's how long it took. So, like, you know, it would make sense if these people just check in on us every 5 years, but it's really every 5,000 on our planet.
Damn.
Like, but to them, it's like them just checking
and
back
we're
in.
in that like period
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah. So it's like, but at the same time, like, even if they're close, like that little bit of travel, like, you know, who the fuck knows? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say what is or isn't, but it's just weird to think. There's a lot of things to consider.
I can't remember where I heard this theory, but I thought it was super interesting that there's evidence of in Antarctica of like a intelligent civilization that once existed on Earth that like we don't necessarily have publicized or like a lot of people know about because it happened so long ago, and these beings have survived but it's like underground in the ocean, and that's why you see these crafts come out of the ocean and all that stuff. They've been here the whole entire time, but they have their own kind of world beneath ours.
That's wild.
I know. I know, it like freaking blows my mind thinking about it.
That's fucking intense.
Yeah.
And it's, that. Remember, there's like that map that somebody drew a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
That like has Antarctica. It's like has the edge of like before we went across the ocean.
Yeah.
Like, but it has America and South America, like their border, and then what Antarctica looks like without ice.
Yeah.
Like it has the border of where the landmass is, which none of us have ever seen.
Like, how do they know?
We only know that because we can penetrate the ice and see where the actual land is.
Yeah.
But that's what somebody drew that on a map. It existed. We found it. How do you explain it? And it's an aerial view before like we could even do boats very good. Like
yeah.
Like so I don't.
It's so interesting.
A lot of things to think
how
about
many
there.
mysteries our world still has.
Yep. It's fucking crazy.
Been around for a long time, but really not that long at all, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Whew.
26.
Intense. Well, you guys, are we alone? Are we not? Let us know in the comments.
You let us know, because we don't know.
I really would like to know. So if you guys could give me a heads up,
Oh,
it'd be great.
nice.
Yeah. Send us off, Cameron.
I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about UFOs, aliens. I don't care if you think it's ridiculous. Aliens are real. Let's seriously put down in the comments if you think the aliens are real. Just a thumbs up on this video if aliens are real. Thumbs down doesn't mean anything. It doesn't equal anything. Cole's licking the microphone. If you don't think aliens are real, let us know in the comments.
That's peripheral vision, dog. God damn.
But
how'd you see me licking that microphone?
I looked.
Oh, did you? Okay, I didn't even see you look.
But all right, guys, thank you for watching. We are gonna bounce, so do all the cool shit that we like you to do and interact. And let us know if you like aliens or hate aliens.